Hi, I'm Kimberly, and my topic is gender roles. Why are the stereotypical gender roles the way they are? Why do boys play with trucks and girls play with Barbies? Why does the father bring home the bacon and mothers cook and clean? A research by the Families and Work Institute in March 2009 concluded that the recession has changed these traditional gender roles. The Bureau of Labor Statistics, taken in 2009, show that unemployment rates have increased faster for men than for women over the past year. The Bureau of Labor Statistics believes unemployment rates increased for men because men are more likely to be employed in industries like manufacturing and construction, which have experienced the most job losses over the past year. Therefore, more women are working outside the home for an income. These women are called working mothers, while more men are staying at home and taking care of the children and household. These men are called stay-at-home dads. Even though people believe this will result in negative effects on children, I'm here today to prove that stay-at-home dads and working mothers can benefit children. This is because, 1, stay-at-home dads create more lasting bonds with their children. 2, working mothers still spend sufficient amount of time with their children. And 3, fathers have a different way of parenting that positively affects children. My first point is stay-at-home dads can form beneficial bonds with their children. Lawrence Walter, a professor at NYU who has a PhD in psychoanalysis and psychotherapy, wrote in his book, Parenthood in America, an Encyclopedia, that stay-at-home dads are involved in daily activities like school, homework, social, and sports activities. He also concluded that the strong bond and involvement stay as the child grows older. Children also bond with mothers. Walter's research shows that a children's attachment to more than one person is a positive factor. Both parents have knowledge of their child's social activities and academic progress. These benefits the child with academic support and social freedom that does not worry the parents. My second point is working mothers still engage with their children. Suzanne Bonacci, a demographer at the University of Maryland and author of Changing Rhythms of American Family Life, did a research in 2007. She concluded that working mothers today spend the same amount of time with their children as stay-at-home moms did in 1970, which was about 10 to 11 hours a week. Also, in 2005, a large study at the University of Texas, Austin, evaluated mothers' time use, the home environment, maternal bonding, and other characteristics of 1,053 mothers with babies across the United States. Dr. Ethel Huston, a study director and child development professor at the University of Texas, Austin, states, "The mother is an important source of care then, but she doesn't have to be there 24 hours a day to build a strong relationship with her child." She concluded that infants bonded equally well with mothers who spent a lot of time and those who spent very little time with them. The equal bond showed no differences in the child's social behavior, thought process, and language development. Children with working mothers still have beneficial relationships with their mothers because ultimately quality is better than quantity. My third and last point is the father's different way of parenting benefits the child. Dr. Kyle D. Brewitt, a clinical professor of child psychiatry at the Yale School of Medicine, wrote in his book In Father in Need, which combines his real-life examples from his own child and family psychiatry practice with research data. In Father in Need, he addresses that one different way is dealing with a frustrated child. He says, mothers quickly reassure toddlers when they become frustrated or fearful, whereas fathers encourage their toddlers to tolerate frustration a bit longer, helping them develop into adults with greater reserves of strength in dealing with everyday stress and frustration. Children learn important values that can only be taught by their father. In conclusion, children gain long-lasting bonds with both parents, not only their father. They still have time with their mothers and gain values like dealing with stress, which can only be taught by their father. Therefore, children can benefit from having a stay-at-home dad and a working mother. Thank you.
All right, all the structural stuff is good. I like the background setup, trying to explain why this is problematic. And you've got a good, clear statement of your proposition, an excellent layout of the secondary claims. You signpost those points internally also very clearly. I like the background before you even got to the proposition. I thought that worked pretty effectively. The evidence itself, I think, is good, although you are very reliant on the authorities. On one point, for instance, you've got an expert that you're quoting. It seems like it's a conclusionary sort of statement. You make a reference to the research that this person did, but we never get any data about that research. We just get their particular conclusion on this. There was one statistic that I thought was interesting that is definitely applicable on your argument. That's the amount of time that working mothers today spend with their kids in relationship to stay-at-home moms 40 years ago. And I thought that was an interesting, it sounds counterintuitive, and so I think we'd want to have a little bit more elaboration of what's going on there, because you know, how they came up with that comparison. I guess it would have to be kids who are already in school as opposed to kids who aren't in school yet. That seems to me like maybe the one way that you would make that inference. The description on the third point about the differences between the dads and the moms, it's interesting. None of it's quantifiable, and I doubt that there's much argument on that particular point. Most of the argument, I think, has to do with the first couple of points rather than the third point. It's presented pretty effectively, although I do think you're rushing a little bit. All right, thank you.